Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show, man. Today is March the 27th. Tons and tons and tons of NBA action on for today. So we're going to jump right into it. Yesterday, two looks that I took. Actually, one look I took, which was Charlotte Hornets. We talked about it yesterday. Liked them at the crib. They got the job done against the Knicks yesterday. It actually was pretty easy. Just shooting the ball really, really well from the three-point line, which we talked about yesterday. Went into detail, great detail, about how well they were shooting the ball from the three-point line yesterday. They did get the job done. Even though Josh Hart hit a couple threes late to kind of, bring it within single digits to close out the game. Total did stay under because Charlotte offense just kind of stalled in the fourth quarter. And then the Knicks just weren't really themselves. You can credit Charlotte, for not giving up a ton of offensive rebounds. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. But the Knicks did not contribute to that total. So glad I ended up staying off of that because I really liked the over. At the end of the first quarter, it was like 248.5. I just still didn't bet it, but I thought the game would definitely go over to 223.5. Regardless of that, let's jump into it for Jackson. Hopefully you guys found some ways to make some money yesterday. Jackson liked what did I give you guys yesterday? Let me see if I can actually find it because I have no idea what it was. There's a lot going on. Let's see. The Magic minus the 15.5, I think, was the look yesterday. Yeah. And the Magic, I don't know if they can beat anybody by 16 right now, especially if you can't beat the Kings by 16. They won that game, I think, by 3 or 4 or something like that. So all one day for Jackson yesterday. I want to give you guys a side and a total for today. So I asked Jackson based on, let me just see. All right, yeah. So we'll go spread first. So I asked Jackson based on the last 10 game advanced stats per cleaning the glass, situational spots, injury reports, and trends. What are the top 2 spreads that are incorrectly priced in the NBA market for today? Jackson likes the Oklahoma City Thunder minus the 18.5 versus Chicago Bulls. It says while the 18.5 point spread is historically massive, the advanced metrics indicate this still isn't enough to reflect the current matchup between these two rosters. This is the matchup between the number 1 net rated team, 10.6, with OKC, of course, and 23rd rated team, minus 4.1. OKC features the league's best defense, 106.3, and the best ball security, 12.4 turnover rate. Meanwhile, Chicago ranks 23rd in offensive rating and struggles with defensive consistency. This statistical mismatch is defensive execution alone suggests a blowout that exceeds the current even the current inflated line. So then there's news and narrative synopsis as well, which I'm not going to read through that. But that's the first one. The second one is actually on the Warriors minus the 13 against the Washington Wizards today. And looks like Jackson just fading some bad teams because I don't know if I can fade the Warriors can fade the Wizards with the Warriors. But it says the market has set this line at 13, but the advanced metrics suggests Golden State should be favored by significantly more. Washington is dead last in the NBA in defensive rating at 120.6 and net rating 10.9, while Golden State is the middle of the pack team, 16th in net rating. They rank 12th in effective field goal percentage at 55%, which features the top 13 defense. The statistical mismatch between the league's worst defense and the Warriors' offense that excels at creating efficient looks suggests a double-digit victory that is most likely the outcome. So those are the 2 looks. There's some more stuff here as well, news and narrative synopsis, but I'm not going to read through all that because there's a lot of games for today. So Jackson likes those 2. I did want to give you guys a total. So those are the 2 sides, two favorites. The next one, so if I give you guys a total, the top total look was actually on the under between the Wizards and the Warriors as well. It says the market has set this at 233.5, likely influenced by Washington's fast pace. They're 6th in the league's worst defensive rating, 120.6. However, the statistical reality of the Wizards' offense suggests that they struggle to hold up their end of the high-scoring bargain. Washington ranks 28th in offensive rating, 25th in turnover percentage. While Golden State features the top 10 effective field goal percentage, they are facing a Wizards team that lacks the offensive efficiency to push the game into the 230s. So maybe a Wizards team total under, but I can't get there, and I'll tell you guys why when I was looking at my notes yesterday as well. So, all right, those are the 3 looks for Jackson today: the Warriors, Golden State under, and then what was the last one? Oh, OKC minus the 19. In this one, which I thought this opened at 18.5. I could be wrong. I do see it up to 20.5 on a couple books. Let's jump into it. So I'll go through these games, and I think the way I want to do it is just for reference. I think I want to highlight the game that I'm on. I think this will make it easier for people to kind of see. So, all right, first up, you guys see the highlight. We got the Clippers and the Pacers. So I want to go over, get my numbers out, get my stuff pulled up on my screens. And if we go over to, I'm always using the money baller. Like there's no questions about it. You guys should be using it as well for your handicapping. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out. But I'm using this tool every single day. It's the most efficient way to cap these games. By far the easiest way to cap these games. So first up, we start with the Clippers and the Pacers. Easy game for me, in my opinion. I talked about, I talked about taking overs for the Pacers, and nothing has really changed at all in this game. So we look at the injury report first. We know that Clippers will be pretty healthy. This is Benedict Mathurin's return to Indiana, of course. First time since being traded. He played against them early, but that game was in LA. And in this game, the Pacers have Aaron Nesmith listed as probable and Obi Toppin listed as questionable. But that means everybody else is in. Nembhard, Siakam, like they're really playing. And they've been covering numbers as well. For the Clippers, it is the first game on the East Coast, 3 straight wins, back-to-back covers for them. No look ahead spot. They got the Bucks on Sunday. And then for the Pacers, second straight home game, they've actually covered 4 games in a row. This Indiana team has. And that's mainly, in my opinion, due to the availability of their players. And that's why this number has come down. I think yesterday this was it wasn't 9. Right now it's 9. This was 10.5 yesterday. Even with going down, they went down 24, 25 points from what I remember, twice, 2 separate times against the Lakers in that last game. And I still came back and ended up covering the number. I think the way that this game goes is that the Pacers will, as long as they have everybody, I think that they can keep this game close with Indiana in this one, being at home. As far as the play here, though, like it's a relatively easy one. You take the over, you get out the way with these 2 teams, man. Look what I write in my notes yesterday. So the first time these 2 teams matched up, they finished 237, and that was on a 230.5 number. Game went over by 7.5 points. And the totals between these 2 teams, crazy enough, 9-1 to the over in the last 10, including 6 straight. So they've averaged, the Pacers home games, the last 3 between these 2 teams have averaged 259. The last 7 altogether have averaged 244. I'm not looking to play a Pacers game under right now at all. They're just playing so fast. And they've played in 6 straight overs. 8 of their last 10 specifically have gone over the number. Now the Clippers have slowed it down, but I just think that the way that the Pacers play, it don't really matter. Like everybody will pace up and not play as much defense, kind of like what we saw with the Lakers in that last game. And I do think the Clippers will be able to score the basketball as well. Pacers play so fast, man. Like this, so they're 6th in pace. I'm sorry, they're 16th in pace in their last 5 games, but 9th on the full season. Getting everybody back, I think they're even better defensively. 2nd worst defensive rated team last 5 games. Offensive efficiency is actually 9th in the last 5 games. Their games are averaging 253 in their last 5 games. So yeah, anything under a 240 is an over for me in the Pacers and the Clippers game. That's how I think about this one, and that's how I bet it too. We'll probably lean towards the Pacers being able to score the basketball too. Offensive efficiency is a 121. All right, so that's that one. Let's keep going. So let's go Miami, Cleveland. So Miami, Cleveland up next. All right, so line this one was at 4.5 yesterday. It has moved up it moved all the way up to 5.5 last night when I was first looking at it. And now it's looked like some little bit of money has come back in on Miami to keep this one close. And want to just get the numbers pulled up real quick. Miami and Cleveland. Miami and Cleveland. Miami and Cleveland. Okay. All right. So we go over to the money baller and look at this game from a money baller perspective. Let's see what I wrote in my notes. So injury report is significant in this one. Jared Allen could potentially make his return. I saw that he was listed as questionable. I think he probably will play. And then there's still no Dean Wade though. There's still no Jalen Tyson. And I do think that both of those pieces mean something, especially the defense that Dean Wade brings to the floor. My opinion, Jalen Tyson is a better defensive player than offensive player as well. I know his role has been a little bit reduced since James Harden joined the team, but both of those guys are still out. It looks like Miami has Wiggins and Jovic both in, so they'll pretty much be at full strength. So these two teams just played. We know that they just played, and we was on Miami plus the 3.5, line close 2.5. They won the game outright by I think it was 14 just a couple nights ago. Miami has been good in this role, just ATS wise on the road in general, 22-13 against the number. As a road dog this season, Miami is 16-11, so they're covering 59%. This is their first. They had lost 5 straight games, of course, before winning that game the other day. No look ahead spot because they got the Pacers on deck on Sunday. And the Cavs on the other side of thing, I really would like to back the Cavs on a nice bounce back spot here. They're 13-23 though, ATS at the crib, 13-23-1. This, of course, is third game in 4 nights. And they're only 2-7-1 against the spread in their last 10, man. It's the third straight home game. Of course, we're equal rest now, and they're off until Monday when they go to Utah. So they'll start a road trip when they go out to Utah. The season series is now 2-2. Both of the teams actually have split. Totals of 7-3 to the over, but the last game stayed well under the 243.5, and we see this one open up a little bit lower as well. And this total shouldn't say 232.5. If this was 232.5, I would have been all over the over. So I definitely wrote this one down wrong. Miami Cleveland is actually it should say 242.5, not 232.5. So total is 242.5. I kind of think that we still see over. Both of these teams have been playing really, really fast. I think Cleveland, having the guys listed out that I talked about, we'll see if Jared Allen plays, but I feel like James Harden's been better with him as well. I kind of want to think over. I know it's a pretty high total. That's the only way I'm kind of looking to play Miami and Cleveland games is to the over. Both of these teams, if we look at the advanced metrics, Miami's 8th in pace. Their last 5 games, fastest paced team all season. Defensive rating is 24th. Last 5 games, Cleveland can't really trust them defensively. They got a 120.5 defensive rating as well. Their games are averaging 233 in their last 5, but that has been against the 9th easiest strength of schedule. And then on the Miami side of things, they're not really guarding anybody. 24th in defensive rating, 24th in points allowed per 100 per game at 126.4 in their last 5. And they are scoring, though, 117 a game. So their games are averaging 243. Cleveland games are averaging 233. Kind of think this one can get up and over the number, man. So I don't really want to get there. As far as side goes, I did have a very interesting system on this game that said you just take the home favorite after losing the game if it's within 4 days. Nice, strong 82% trend. It says just back Cleveland in this spot. So I can't really do it based on, the way that they're playing right now, but I like fading Miami when they're laying points, not necessarily when they're getting them. Miami has been good in this role as a road dog. Like I said, 16-11 against the number, 59%. So it's very, very hard for me to play this one. But I think over, and maybe Cleveland team total over. Maybe they get the job done on the offensive end. So that's how I think about that one. Let's move on to the next. Atlanta and Boston is up next. Let's see. All right, here we go. Atlanta, Boston, as we continue to move along. So this is one where you probably need to wait for the injury report. So I won't go too long into this one. I do know Atlanta will have everybody. It's not necessarily the greatest spot for them, but they will have everybody. The Celtics listed Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Kata all listed as questionable. All 3 of them got illnesses. So I'm not sure what's going around the team, but that is why this line came down from 7.5 down to 5 now. Atlanta has been absolutely hooping. I don't think we can take anything away from them, especially with them being able to go in Detroit, win that game at overtime the other night. But they are coming off the overtime game. Typically, you want to fade those teams. So if you go to Moneyballer, there is an overtime hangover system that fades the Atlanta Hawks in this spot. On the Boston Celtics side of things, a very impressive win against the Thunder after losing to the Timberwolves. Not sure how you lose to the Timberwolves, but then beat the Thunder, but that's what they did. Just when you thought that they were, struggling a little bit, they beat the Thunder by 10 points at home. Don't really necessarily want to fade them with it being their third straight home game. They do have a big game against Charlotte on deck, and that game is in Charlotte on Sunday. Man, I just kind of feel like if you're not going to get the full strength version of the Celtics, the Hawks are going to be. I think they could potentially, come in here and keep this one close. They did win the most recent matchup. Atlanta did 117-106 as 5-point road home dogs. So they smoked Boston in that spot. Boston won the first meeting 132-106. But I forgot when that was, but that was early in the season. That was actually in January. So January 17th, and then they played 9 days later, and Boston got the Hawks got their lick back. 1 over, 1 under, of course. I think Atlanta is the right side, man. I do think they're the right side, but you kind of need to see what happens with the injury report. If I just go down, and when I was looking at this last night, I was looking at the last 10 game numbers. Atlanta's been absolutely hooping, man. Yes, you could say it's been against a pretty strong, pretty easy strength of schedule because it is the 25th strongest strength of schedule, or you can say the 6th easiest. But they're a plus 9.6 in adjusted net rating. So that's with strength of schedule actually included. On the Celtics side of things, also pretty strong. They're 7th in adjusted net rating and a plus 9 as well, which means that this game should probably be closer to about 3 in my opinion. But they have played against the strongest strength of schedule the Celtics have. So we'll see. You kind of worry that, you want to make sure nobody pop up on the injury report for the Hawks, but they still got a lot to play for with the division on the line. So I think Hawks plus the points is the way that I would play this one. Don't really want to fade the Celtics with it being their third straight home game, but I do understand, like I said, they got the Charlotte Hornets on deck. Don't really have the strongest opinion on total as well. I think, again, go back to the top. You got to wait for Kata, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown. If those three don't play, then I do think Atlanta, of course, is the right side of this game. All right, so that's that one. The next one is, let's see. The next one is the Chicago Bulls and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I don't really even want to talk too much about this one. We'll go super quick on this one. So Chicago, OKC, let's see. All right. So what I wrote in my notes yesterday was I know that Anthony Simons is listed as doubtful. Let me just double check that real quick. Anthony Simons is listed as doubtful. No Jaden Ivey, of course. Rob Dillingham is probable. Isaac Okoro is probable as well. Nick Richards is questionable. And Gershon Yabusele is also questionable. On the OKC side of things, they'll be at full strength tonight. They have everybody. This is, for Chicago, they haven't been a good road team, just 14-20 against the spread on the road. It is the first leg of a back-to-back as well. As road dogs, they've been profitable, 13-10 against the number. But they do got a game in Memphis tomorrow. Not sure if they care about that one, this one, either, honestly, at this point. OKC has not been covering the number, just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. It's their first game back home off a 5-game road trip. They do got the Knicks on Sunday as well, so potential look ahead spot, but that's not until Sunday. OKC's won 7 straight. They've covered 6 of the last 7. These games, in my opinion, should all finish over. As much as I want to get there with an over, it's some things that kind of hold me up. But the biggest factor is if I'm just looking at the way that the Chicago Bulls have been playing offense and defense in their last few games, like getting Giddey back, of course, has been good. They don't have a true center, especially if Nick Richards doesn't play. I mean, it's a lot of, barbecue chicken at the rim in this game. If I look at the pace numbers, the Bulls second in pace on the full season, first in pace in their last 5 games. OKC will run, especially – but I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, but when Oklahoma City was playing against the Washington Wizards, they were intentionally not trying to blow them out so that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could get back in the game and get to his 40. So I do think that that's in the realm of possibility. You see the Chicago Bulls, you see this, OKC just not take the game serious because they are a 20-point favorite. They know that they're playing the Bulls. They're gonna win the game. because they want to get, stat pad, all of those different things. I just think that the game goes over, man. If I look at the last couple, right? So the one that was played back on March the 3rd, I think Giddy wasn't a part of that one. It finished 116 to 108. Chicago actually covered the 9.5 point spread. But if we go back to last season, the game that was played in OKC was 145 to 117. That game finished 262. And that's how I kind of think about this one. Now, the three before that actually finished 228 or less. So OKC home games in the last three head-to-head, they finished 240.7, which says that there's some meat on the bone for this total. And it has gone up. It opened 237.5. That's the way I kind of think about it, man. Back-to-back overs for the Bulls. Houston and Philly. That Houston game finished 260. Like, if you can get 260 against a slow-paced team like Houston, I kind of feel like, you can give up the points to OKC. OKC should probably get to 130, 135 in this game. And then they played against Philly. Paul George first game back, Embiid first game back. They give up. That game finished 294. So, I mean, we just asking for 240. That seems like a gift if, the last two have averaged 270, 275 almost in those last two games. If Chicago continues to play defense like that, that's the way I kind of think about this one, man. It should be a fast-paced game. OKC, potentially playing down to their opponent. I'm not laying this big of a number, but I can see how I can find ways to make it make sense as well. So over, and this one would be my recommendation, or nothing at all. All right, last one, and this is probably the grossest one on the slate for the day. The Houston Rockets in Memphis, 12.5 point favorites, total sitting at 226.5. So if I head over to the money baller for this game, we look at the injury report. The Houston Rockets, of course, have nobody, just Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams, of course. The Memphis Grizzlies have a laundry list, right? So Ja's out for the rest of the season. KCP's out. Santi Aldama. Jalen Wells is out for this game. Scottie Pippen Jr., Ty Jerome, Zach Edey are all out. So on the Rockets side of things, probably coming off, and the Rockets have a lot of embarrassing losses this season, but probably the most embarrassing loss that we've seen this year by any team. They were up, 13, I think? 13 points in overtime in Minnesota the other night, and just absolutely just almost like they don't want to win, just tanking the game away. I know they want to win, but just got to tanking the game away. They have not been profitable on the road. They haven't been profitable since the break. Just 17-20 against the number, 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. This is their third straight road game, and they're coming off the overtime game where they blew their 13-point lead. No look ahead spot. They got the Pelicans on Sunday. They recently just beat the Pelicans at home. And then on the Memphis side of things, 15-19 against the spread in their last in their home games in general. 3-7 against the spread in their last 10. So this is a Memphis team that hasn't been covering a number. 4 straight losses, 3 straight non-covers. All of those non-covers have come by double digits as well. If we just go look at it real quick, those losses came against the Spurs, lost by 25. To the Hawks, lost by 39. To the Hornets, lost by 23. So 3 really good, playoff type teams. This Hornet, I mean, say what we want to about the Houston Rockets. They are a good team. They just really been struggling, specifically on the defensive end, since you start, adding Reed Shepherd and you got Sengun out there, 2 guys that are absolute barbecue chicken on defense, especially when they need them most. I say all that to say that this is, of course, first leg of back-to-back for Memphis as well. They got the Bulls coming to town tomorrow. All 3 of those losses that I just talked about, the 23-point loss, the 39-point loss, and the 25-point loss, all came without the services of Ty Jerome. So this could be the spot, in my opinion, where Houston comes out and absolutely buries this team. If you look at those 3 games, the Grizzlies gave up 124 to Houston, 146 to the Hawks, and 123 to the Spurs. The Rockets scored 124 against the Bulls in their most recent game. They just couldn't get a stop. 123 against the Heat in that game as well. Now, granted, those games were at home, but their offense has picked up a little bit. So I say all that to say Houston 8-2 straight up, 7-3 against the number in the last 10 head-to-head matchups. They won both earlier matchups this season. I think they covered one and didn't cover the other. I looked at a couple things in this game. So I looked at road favorites who were coming off a loss and coming off an overtime game. So loss in overtime and then you land points on the road. 62% of the time, those teams cover. If you add that as post All-Star break, that number goes up to 72% ATS, 57% to the under. So that tells me Memphis team total under, which we talked about in the last game against the San Antonio Spurs. Now the Rockets are not playing that great a defense. They're actually playing some pretty good defense in the Timberwolves game. That game barely got over there. Actually, it finished right at 218. So the defense had, nice little bounce back after giving up 132 points against the Bulls. So Trent says take the Rockets, take the under. Both teams have played the 7th and 8th most difficult strength of schedule in the last 10. Houston is a minus 2.8 net rating team, which makes it difficult to lay 12.5. Memphis is a minus 14.7 though. When you put those numbers together, it comes out to be right at this minus 12. So the way I kind of think about it, Houston has sucked. They're still the fourth in offensive rebound percentage. And guess who gives up the most offensive rebounds? If you guess Memphis, you're right, 30th. As far as the offensive rebounds allowed, opponents are allowing opponents to pull down 34% of their own misses in their last 10 games. Houston should be able to clean them up in this spot. Memphis is also allowing the second most second chance points, because when you give up a ton of offensive rebounds, you give up the most second chance points as well. So I know it's gross, but I'd be looking towards Houston in this game, some form away. I'm not sure if I can trust them for the full game because they just take their foot off the gas. But I do expect them to be fired up and motivated, coming off back-to-back losses. They just haven't been good. Like I said, 2-8 in their last 10. Rockets in some form of way. First quarter, first half, something like that. I do think that they get smoked. The Memphis Grizzlies get smoked in this spot with no Scottie Pippen, with no Ty Jerome here. So, all right, I've been talking way too long, and that's only half of the slate, man. So, if that has been helpful, everything I've said so far, if you just rock with the ChrisBeCappinn show, do me a favor, hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel real quick if you have not, and let's go pick a couple of these games that I have on the list for the second half of the show. So New Orleans and Toronto, this is a game, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I haven't. This is the game I think we'll skip right over. Like, I don't want to really talk too much about this one, if I'm being honest, just because I do have notes on it. I just haven't had a chance to deep dive. This one's gonna take me a while, and I think you kind of got to wait for the injury report because Trey Murphy didn't play yesterday. DeJounte was questionable. DeJounte may not play today. Trey Murphy could come back. New Orleans, got absolutely smoked. They were playing second leg of back-to-back. They have been profitable playing back-to-back. They were 9-2 ATS in their last 10 games. And when I looked at it yesterday, it was 7-6 ATS playing unrested, 3-4 if playing unrested and on the road, and 5-2 to the over if unrested on the road, including 3 straight overs. All have cleared 232. So it says maybe over in this spot. But Toronto first game back home off the 5-game road trip. Quickly's out. They've not looked great. I don't really want to lay 8.5 with them in this spot. So you kind of got to wait for the injury report to clear, in my opinion, in this game. Before you determine whether you want to play it. Denver and Utah is up next. Kind of a easy skip for me. There's one thing that I was looking at, though, in this game. And let me just see if the line has moved a little bit at all or any. And that is, we kind of talked about this in the last game. See if it has moved any. Yeah, it did move. Fudge. Kind of looking at I'll bring this up real quick, show you guys what I was looking at. All right, so let's me. Oh, Karl Anthony Towns rebounds cash last night too. I don't know if anybody got that. We talked about taking them under 11.5. Man, these boys don't play no games on the boards, man. Charlotte is like that. Karl Anthony Towns got benched too, so that was an easy winner yesterday. I didn't even play it. Jokic, right? 18-point spread. How much will they really need Jokic in this game? In my opinion, not that much, man. That's honestly where I went to in this game. I'm not laying as big of a number with a team that cares less about. They could care less about covering. Flipakowski being back, Isaiah Collier being out. I'm that. But if we look at Jokic this season, his points prop is listed at 25.5. This was minus 109 last night on DraftKings. It is down to minus 119. So I don't really necessarily like the juice here, but you can see he's over in 55% of his games, averaging right at 27.8. But this is the same thing we talked about in that last game against the Phoenix Suns when they were on the road. His points prop was listed at 20. He was listed at 27.5. So it's come down a little bit. I still think it's a little bit of meat on the bone, right? We go here, we go games played with. We add Aaron Gordon. We add Jamal Murray, and voila, look at that. This season in those games, just over in 10 of his 21, so right at 48%. But more so than that, this is since Jamal Murray returned, right? These two right here, right? These two green bars, a 38-point game against the Knicks, and a 32-point game against Denver. Highly, competitive opponents, right? Knicks and OKC, two of the two best teams in the NBA. Now, when he played against a terrible team, like they blew the Rockets out, won that game by, what is that, 36? Lakers, 24. Philly won that game by a million. You can see the trend here. 6 straight unders for Nikola Jokic. And I don't think he's I just really don't think he's going to be needed in this game. If you go here and look at the head-to-head matchups, let me just take this filter off. If you look at the head-to-head matchups, these are the 2 games he played this season. 3 days before Christmas, and then on February, 14-point game and a 22-point game. And then the other thing I looked at was just the field goal attempts. 7 and 11 field goal attempts for Jokic in these games. So he's not trying to score the basketball. So in my opinion, I think taking Jokic under in this game is probably the best way to play it. And I don't think I would honestly, I don't think I would touch anything else. That's what I would play. I really wanted to get there with some form of over, but I can't play a total this high. The books kind of got people the last time that these two teams played, because both games finished 247 and 253. So I'm not taking an under, but the game that finished 247 was actually a 251 and a half total. I think it was the highest total we've seen so far this season. So I couldn't get there. Utah 25th in defensive rating, playing at the 3rd fastest pace. Denver is number 1 in adjusted offensive rating, playing at the 7th fastest pace. Not expecting much defense, but I think the total is a tad bit too high. So I'm off of the game. Denver only 1-4 ATS in their last 5, 3 straight overs for them. So books I feel like they're kind of trapping people with 4 over in this game, but I'm not betting under. That's my thought process. All right, next one up is, I'm actually doing pretty good with time. Next one up is Washington Golden State. And this is one where I'll be quick. Injury report, let me just double check it real quick. I don't think there's anything significant in this one though. Let's look at the injury report. So Sar, Bilal, Trey Johnson, and Tristan Vucevic all listed as questionable in this game. You definitely want to see if those guys are playing, whether you like side or total. I'm not laying this many points with the Wizards, with the Golden State Warriors. I know it's the Wizards, but I'm still not laying this many points. Wizards are just 13-22 against the spread on the road, 3rd straight road game, 3 straight overs, 8-2 to the over in their last 10. The Warriors are 14-20-1. ATS at home, just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games, 7-3 to the under. So Golden State has won 7 of the last 7 straight against the Warriors. Last 3 have gone over the number, including a 234.5 total that finished, including a 234.5 total that finished 242 when these two teams played less than a month ago. So it's over nothing. I wrote Washington 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Both teams bottom half in adjusted defensive rating. Wizards playing at the 4th fastest pace last 5. Warriors should want to run with them and not play as much defense in this game. So over or nothing for me in that game. Last night the total was at 2. I think honestly when I capped the game, total wasn't even out, but I thought it would be about 232.5, and that's about 232, 233, and that's where I think we see the game go over as well. All right, so that's that one. See if I can get through the last 2 real quick. Actually, don't even need to go through the last 2. What I'll tell you guys about, not touching the Laker game, and this Dallas and Portland game is another game that if I'm betting it over as well, and I'm probably looking towards Portland in this game. So I'll tell you guys why. So we look at the injury report. Daniel Gafford is the big injury concern in this game. He's already listed as out for the Dallas side of things. So no Daniel Gafford. Of course, no Lively. Caleb Martin is out. On the Portland side of things, Robert Williams is listed as questionable. And this is 4th game in 6 nights for Portland. But they've played in 3 straight overs and they're comfortable. 3rd straight home game for them as well. They've been comfortable in covering and cashing ATS at the crib, 22-14. Whereas, this Dallas team has been god awful on the road. 14-21 against the spread, only 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 10. 5 straight losses, 4 straight overs for them as well. So both of these teams have combined for 7 straight overs if you put them together. If you look at these two teams in general, they're 9-1 to the over in their last 10 games, including the first matchup of the season as well. Dallas is 27th in adjusted off in defensive rating in their last 10. against the 11th most difficult strength of schedule. Portland's played the second easiest strength of schedule, but Dallas would also go in that category as well. This Portland team is third in adjusted defensive rating, but both teams play at a top adjusted pace in their last 10 games. So it's Portland against the spread, especially without Gafford out, or looking towards the over. And this total is one that I missed. This was 235.5, and it's up to 239.5. So that's that game. And then the only other one is the Lakers and the Nets. And I'm not touching that game just because the injury report is vague. You need to know what's going to happen with Luka. It says illness, left hamstring soreness. We'll see. Rui is also listed as questionable. And then Brooklyn is not trying to win games, but this is a really big number. What is the number? 16.5, total at 222. Don't really want to, think that Brooklyn can score the basketball because they've been so god awful. It is fourth game in 6 nights for them as well. So yeah, I'm not touching that game. First meeting did finish clear to 222.5 though. It finished 234, but that I think Michael Porter Jr. was in that game. So yeah, easy skip for me, especially without knowing the status of Luka Doncic. So if we go to a quick recap really quickly, and I just kind of, just share everything that I just said. It's a big slate, but I actually don't absolutely love it at all. I just think it's a lot of games. I don't mean it's a lot of, don't mean it's a lot of ways to, a lot of value on the board. But if I'm betting Clippers and Indy, and this is actually one of my favorite totals on the board, 238 is available right now. I'm taking that over. Miami, Cleveland, I think I would just go over in that game as well. And I could be completely wrong in that one. 241.5, it looks like it's available. Atlanta, Boston, one you got to wait on the injury report, but as it currently speaks, Atlanta plus the points. Chicago and OKC, over 238.5, it looks like it's available. I like some overs today, man, because these teams not playing defense. There's just 10 games left in the season. They're just trying to get to Cancun, man. Houston, I think early. Houston first quarter / Houston first half ATS. I think those are the ways that I would want to play the Houston Rockets, especially on back-to-back losses, the way that they fumbled the bag in that last game. New Orleans, Toronto not touching it. Utah, Denver is Nikola Jokic under 20. What was the number? 25.5, I think. Yeah, 25.5 points is the way that I would play that game. And then what else? Washington Golden State would be an over for me. I know that the total is dropping, but you know what? I'll wait on the injury report. I'm not going to add that one up here. Dallas and Portland, I still think it finishes over 240. All of the Dallas games will go finishing over 240. So over 230, it's a late number, of course. A late, like you're getting the worst of the number, but 238.5 is available right now, and then not touching the Laker game. Real quick, just to kind of back up what I'm saying, let's just double check and see if I'm right. I think all of Dallas games, last 10, are finishing over 240. So last 5 games, Dallas is averaging 125. They're giving up 136.2. Worst defensive rated team in the NBA. That's not even close, honestly. They're worse than the Pacers, the Wizards, the Nets. So these games are averaging 261 in their last 5 games. So let's take Dallas overs or get out the way, man. Stay out the way. That is it for the show today, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Resources, as always, they're linked in the description of the video. Check them out if you guys are interested. Jackson Out Loud, Moneyballer, Odds Jam. And that'll be it, man. Best of luck on your action. I will be live. Probably not live, but I'll do a show tomorrow, probably before my son has soccer. So catch you guys then. Enjoy your Friday night, man. Y'all be safe.